Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Thank you for taking your time out and being here today. We'll be running a Q&A at the end of the webinar. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. So if you have any questions, just pop them in there. And if I miss anything, don't worry. On-demand recording would be available on Bright Talk. So my name is Manan Kharbanda. I'm a principal security consultant at Safe Security. Have been leading and operating these red teaming operations and network security practices at Safe Security. Now moving towards the today's topic. Today's topic and this webinar is all about CyberGym, which is a new initiative at Safe Security. Let me take you to today's menu. So today, we'll be discussing the idea behind CyberGym and how exactly it originates, what exactly does it entail, and then finally the takeaways for you, so that everybody on the call can actually go ahead and plan their first CyberGym. So we would love to go ahead with the overall experience and how we have put across all the things. So the idea behind CyberGym was to catch up with the technological evolution which was taking place on a day-to-day basis. And the major reason we wanted to run this whole show was to upskill the skill sets of our team members in a very fun manner. And along with that, adding a touch of gamification in the form of capture the event flags. Moving forward towards what exactly CyberGym is and how is it different from the CTF events which actually takes place all over the world. So CyberGym was designed with one intention and was considered the whole amalgamation of business requirements and the evolutionary technological changes which was happening. So here, we wanted to consider the business context, which generally takes a backseat when we're talking about the CTF events. So considering the business requirement, we try to amalgamate processes. We try to amalgamate certain level of challenges, starting from OS and moving towards programming languages, and then the VAPT skills, and on the top of it, a lot of other skills. So we try to amalgamate all these things together. We try to stitch these scenarios. Once we are stitching these scenarios, we also make sure that these challenges are actually fundamentally picked and taken into consideration from the real world attacks, the APTs, the advanced persistent threats, which are actually there in the wild. We try to replicate certain scenarios so that our team can actually pick up all these concepts and try to execute in the real world vulnerability assessment scenarios. So that's the first step towards CyberGym. And under conventional CyberGym, under the conventional CTFs, what we can find are independent solutions, or maybe one flag to another flag, but at the same time it may or it may not solve the business context. So here, considering that in mind, we wanted to holistically design this whole set of challenges. So either these challenges could be in the form of independent challenges, or could be a lab scenario. And under the CTF, there's a culmination of set of random problems which are already there. Moving forward, what we have tried to program this in this fashion is it generally lasts for 1 or 2 weeks, whereas the conventional CTFs may or may not lie towards that duration. Could be of 1 or 2 days, or could be of week. So that's another thing. Again, as I mentioned, focuses on the real world problems which we face day to day in our assessments, and then we capture those things and document all these things and put them to the CyberGym challenges. Moving towards the execution process and how exactly we have been understanding this whole process altogether. So the first step was always to understand the business requirements. Second was always to brainstorming the challenges, because once we got the business context, once we got the problem statement, and then brainstorming from that level was an important aspect for us. Once we have brainstormed the challenges, okay, we might require the mobile challenges, or the application related, or the network security related challenges, which stitch them together, try to set up a CTF platform and these list of challenges all together. Then we run these registration processes within the team. once we are finalizing the registration process, we make sure that we are breaking those registration processes and the team into their considerable amount of skill sets. Maybe it's like a team could be proficient on the network security and could not be proficient on the application security. So just to bridge that whole gap and making things aligned towards that, we make sure that the teams are aligned with different skill sets and they can exchange ideas and knowledge while they're running these campaigns. On the fifth scale, like we have this cybergym which starts on this specific date. So we give a specific date to our teammates where they can prepare, or where they can like set up their whole machine. Moving forward, once the cybergym ends, like we announce the results, conduct walkthrough sessions, so that everybody is on the same page. Even if like somebody was not able to solve those challenges, they would be able to do that with those walkthrough sessions. Or if somebody was not able to participate in those walkthrough sessions, sorry, in the actual challenge, they would definitely go ahead and like look at those walkthrough sessions, and they can just like take those pieces together to their assessment. And finally, on the eighth point, like we try to retrospect what kind of challenges we were able to accumulate, what kind of answers we got from those challenges, and whether like where exactly the team stands. And then on the basis of that, considering the business context, we make another set of challenges for our next quarter. So every quarter we try to run these challenges and these CTF events internally. Now somebody might ask, okay, so how exactly and what exactly technology is being used here? So we have got a lot of open source platforms which we have used for our challenges, and of course what kind of containers we have been using for setting up these challenges, because while we are running it, like we also have to make sure that these are very much cost effective, and at the same time we are able to deliver the crux of the whole event altogether. So yeah, the technology which we have been using are CDFD, Docker, and taking those into consideration, we have been deploying those things on AWS instances or Azure or any other cloud platforms. Could be implemented on the on-prem as well. So there is no restrictions as such, but we'll definitely come to the nitty-gritties moving forward. Under the implementation phase, we have divided them into three sections. The first being the challenges, what we talk about. It could be the application challenges, the boot to root, the network security challenges, could be cryptographic challenges, like and then like the phase two is hosting these challenges and like using a CTF framework so that we can maintain a scoreboard, a set of challenges which could be seen by everybody in the team, and they can definitely put their flags so that like once we are evaluating each and every assessment and each and every challenge, we are able to put everybody on the same page and everybody can see like what kind of results they have got. So phase two was hosting the challenges and the CTF framework, could be on-prem or cloud. The third phase is again defining the necessary rules and the guidelines, because while we are engaging into these challenges or these capture the flag events, it's always important to make sure there's like parity. Nobody is making any kind of mistake or uh, any kind of situation which actually lead to like some other attack vector. In the sense, let's say we create like certain challenges where there could be SQLi injection, but while creating that challenge, if we don't see like what kind of other vulnerabilities could persist, then the essence of that challenge might be lost. So that's there. So we create these rules, we create the points, we create the flags, and definitely the timelines. So now how we have been hosting these challenges is something we can speak about. So in this whole image, what we can see here is it's a Docker file what we have created for our first challenge. We were using Ubuntu here, and then we can define the list of packages what would be required here, and then set of other commands, and then finally like we start the service and like build the Docker image. Once the Docker image is built, it could be imported to any system or the cloud environment what we talk about. Now for people who might not know what Docker is, so Docker is a open source technology used mostly for developing, shipping, and running applications. If we look at this way, we can definitely isolate applications from their underlying infrastructure so that software delivery is fast than ever. So what I mean here is that it is like very easy to ship all these Docker files from one platform to another platform. If we want to put this on-prem infrastructure, we can definitely do that. If we want to put this on cloud, we can definitely put that. It won't take like much of a time. All those images are independent, and like all the dependencies are also placed inside a Docker file. So yeah, we just like have to play around with that, and definitely it's a cost saving piece as well. That like while we are hosting some EC2 instance, let's say on AWS, we can place multiple Docker files as per the requirements of that specific host machine. Then how exactly we create these cloud instances? If we can see here, this is the EC2 instance, which could be found in AWS. So we created one EC2 instance using CLI, and we can mention the specific requirements, what kind of uh, utility we require, what kind of instance we require, what could be the size of that instance, and all those information. So it generally becomes very easy to host these instances or host these applications on cloud infra, and whenever you want, like we can delete those instances as well. Now, the second learning aspect, what we have learned from our CyberGym events. So we have been running these CyberGym events like since last year. It was a great learning experience for all of us. Now I'll just like put one situation here under security group configuration. So we have seen, let's say, while we are configuring these kind of challenges, so again, like these challenges could be from the defensive side or could be from the offensive side. So both the teams participate, and like once the offensive team has actually started to attack, the next time we what we could do is like they could be on the defensive side and they can actually design these challenges, and they can try to defend from different type of attacks which are being produced by the offensive team. So yeah, while mentioning about the security group configurations, we need to define these inbound rules, the outbound rules for the configuration of the security group. Now, whatever applications, whatever challenges we have defined, we have to make sure that it's only restricted to the specific team who's going to work on it, because we have seen in the past from our experiences that if in case like there is some opening on some specific port, then we could see a lot of DOS attacks from the outside world, as in like people who are actually not participating in this whole CyberGym event. They can actually attack through the exposed ports and services. So make sure like whatever openings are left, whatever open ports are there, it's like for the internal team, and like we are trying to either restrict it through VPN or like giving the specific AWS access to the specific team. So that's like one of the key takeaways here. Now, what is the framework? Now somebody would ask like, okay, so we are actually hosting these challenges, we are actually creating some Wireshark PCAP files which has like some good flags so that people can pick it up. But like to host these challenges, like I need a platform, and this platform could be obtained, again like as I mentioned, could be obtained from these open source technologies, from open source companies what like people have been giving. So one of the platform which we find interesting is CDFD. Now we can get clone this whole Git repo which is there. We can actually compose the whole framework repository here, and then like we can mention the list of containers if your Docker containers are running. So basically this gives us the whole look and feel of how and what the challenge would look like, what kind of challenges are there, so anybody from the participating team can take a look at these events, and then like they can look at the challenges, they can look at the description as well, and from there they can mention the challenge name, assign a point value, assign a flag string. So these are the options what people can like play around with them. Now if I have to answer what is CDFD in a nutshell, it's a capture the flag framework, which is focusing on ease of use and customizability. As in, like we can customize our challenges, we can give a specific description to our team members. Maybe we can want to drop certain kind of hints. We can definitely do that as well, and it comes with everything you need to run a CTF, and like could be customized easily with the plugins and the themes. Again, like this comes with the certain free version and the paid version. So yeah, like plus on the top of it, like we can also design these kind of platforms, kind of frameworks internally as well. Requires like some kind of coding, but yeah, could be done easily. Now if we have to look how exactly this framework looks like, so this is how it looks like. We have defined the name of the challenge, what kind of category does it belong to, what kind of value we want to give here. Like here we have mentioned 100 points and the code, so it's a coding type, it's a programming type challenge, and people can just like click on this and read about this challenge, and from there they can definitely start with their reconnaissance and like few other mechanisms. Now, moving further, this is how the scoreboard looks like. The scoreboard is something which gives us the whole calculation of the score. Again, amalgamating like total number of score what people have obtained like by solving these different challenges. Now, could be that somebody is leading and somebody might not be leading in between the challenge. Let's say we start on the first week, and like within the second week the score shuffles. The team may the teams which were outperforming may go down. So these kind of scenarios also are possible, but at the same time what we have to make sure is that like we are motivating our team members while they are actually participating, and then making sure everybody in the team is participating also, because like the exchange of ideas, the exchange of knowledge which would happen within these scenarios, within these challenges, would be humongous. Now I feel that okay, so like taking care of these challenges and organizing what exactly is happening around is something we can always go ahead and like pick up from the community as also. What I mean by that is, while we are hosting these challenges, it could be an opportunity where like the analyst who's actually designing these challenges might lose a touch of lose a touch of what exactly vulnerabilities to keep, and if like somebody has kept like these kind of vulnerabilities, would it be easy to solve those challenges or not. So like defining the severity of those challenges, defining how technical your team is, and like what kind of concepts we want to train them is something we should take into consideration while creating these challenges. That was the first phase. Now, while we are actually running these events quarterly, so we have certain things which we should definitely remember. Now, organizers who are actually doing it, like would consider one of the intended solution, but there is also a possibility that like with the upcoming of a lot of CVs, lot of vulnerabilities, uh, there's like a lot of CVs which are present in the wild. So what the organizers have to take into consideration is that like during these CDF events, make sure that the solutions what they're putting, or what the challenges they are putting, are like totally aligned to what kind of challenges they are defined, and make sure, like let's say if there is SQL injection or cross-site scripting, so whatever challenges, whatever problems, or whatever vulnerabilities they have mentioned, there is only like one vulnerability in that scenario, and not like other vulnerabilities also which the organizers have not defined or discovered. So I'll give you like one of the examples here. Although it's a good thing to happen, that one of the analysts who was actually working on this particular event, so this event was happening I believe last quarter. and like under that, like certain people from one team actually started working on few challenges, and then like while they were attacking, they got few vulnerabilities. And during the whole evaluation of the results, what we found out was like there were like a couple of vulnerabilities which the organizers didn't mention, but the analyst was able to discover that. And later, once we started to probe on that, there like that vulnerability was a CVE. So yeah, like these kind of situations also happen, that like while we are trying to push our team members to perform well, uh, we also see certain magical aspects there, that like during these events, like we observe like certain CVs, and then like it was also published. So it's a good thing for community also. So yeah, I hope like these kind of events could actually make sense, could actually provide a lot of value to their internal team members, and could definitely upskill their overall capabilities. Next, organizers should ensure that public exposed services have necessary mitigation against DOS attempts. We have seen that while we expose certain ports for our team members so that like they can get into those challenges, but at the same time there were a lot of attackers who are actually scanning the whole internet and who are actually trying to get hands on their exposed public services. So these exposed public services could be found on Shodan, Census, like these kind of platforms. People just have to put their IP addresses, the host name, or whatever like feasible keywords like the Shodan requires. Like you put that and you get the open ports and services. So yeah, like there are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of attackers as well who are actually enumerating the whole internet, who are actually continuously like scanning for open ports and vulnerable services. So we make sure that whatever is being exposed outside is being managed properly. The third point being, we should make sure that always that the data is being backed properly. Why the data has to be backed? Because while some analyst is actually playing around with the whole CyberGym event, there could be chances that like some vulnerability could actually lead to some kind of DOS, or could actually bring the whole event down. So to get that and to resolve that, we always think that like the data should be backed up properly. And once the data is backed up properly, there should be a mechanism to get ready with that whole event whenever there's a requirement. So yeah, like even if the whole event goes down, like we are ready with the backup. Now, the fourth point is like there should be enough resources to present and run all the applications, because while people are attacking, while people are actually brainstorming on different ideas, they might try different tips and tricks. Okay. So, to get those things aligned, we should make sure if you are using some AWS platforms, or Azure or any other cloud platform, we are giving adequate amount of requirements to our instances, to our buckets, or whatever resources we are using. And then finally what we can do is we make sure that the infrastructure overall is bit secure. We can do the configuration review or the vulnerability assessment before we start off with the whole event, so that like we are well known with the loopholes which would be present. Now, the outcomes after this whole test, after this whole events we started. So this idea again, like was from the problem statement what we were facing at Safe Security. So amalgamating those things, what we have observed over different events is that like analysts actually learned how to attacks on different areas, on different simulations. On the top of it, those APTs, those advanced persistent threats, the attacks which are being customized by them. So we also try to take some ideas from there and try to replicate, simulate, emulate those kind of behaviors here in our lab scenarios or on our CTF platforms. And then finding the tactics, techniques, and the procedures of those exploits using MITRE attack, brainstorming on some other sections of the vulnerability is something like analysts were able to pick it up from here. Then second point being, while we operate in different teams, as in like we have teams who actually specializes in specific segment of cybersecurity, be it network security, be it application security, or be it like any other security to say. So what we do here is, while people are actually brushing up their whole skill set on one specific domain, and then we bring this cyber gym into place, where it's not about a specific domain, but it's like domains which are actually divided under cybersecurity, all the domains what we can think of, starting from OSINT, programming challenges, application, network, whatever it is. So those kind of challenges are put together, and then like these team members from different teams can collaborate and exchange ideas basically. So now the third point, what actually lead to this, there's a team bonding which increases, leading to cross team collaboration during the projects as well. So this is like one of the great learning what we have. And yeah, things go really well after that. And then so high pace and practice learning of concepts are enabled through gamifications. So adding gamification, adding some touch of some new concepts is very important for the team members also, because having those same events every quarter would be a tiresome for the team as well. So just to make sure like people are having fun, people are actually enjoying each and every session, each and every cyber gym event, we make sure like there is something new basically, and something new peculiar. Finally, we can come down to the questions. In case somebody has any questions, I can definitely go to the question section. Okay. No questions till now. So that's great. Uh, so now what? We'll just like wait for another 2 minutes in case like somebody has any other questions. We can take that up. Else like we can conclude this. So yeah. So if somebody wants to see like these events happening, and so we generally are maintaining these repos on GitHub. So anybody who's interested in this like can go to our cybersecurity, the GitHub repository of safe security. We try to upload these challenges as soon as possible. And in case like we are hosting the labs also, internally we are also giving some notes around that as well. So yeah. So if in case like somebody has any doubts, like they could definitely reach out to us, and we would happy to help you there. And we have no questions, so we would definitely conclude here. Thank you so much for your time. Okay.